Hey, what's up, travelers? I hope you're having a good time as always. Thanks for tuning into this video of mine, where today I will be discussing our lovely Venus in Virgo. So, I'm going to try to go with the flow and not think too much about anyone that I know with Venus in Virgo. So here it is. So right off the bat, you could say that Venus is in its fall there, Venus being exalted in the opposite sign of Pisces. When it falls in Virgo, it just came from Leo, the shining light of the self, where it likes to be flamboyant and expressive and create a sense of love out of its own identity. Their Venus in Virgo is more selfless in a sense, or almost critical to a point, because it is at a point where it's trying to refine exactly what it wants, what it relates to, what it feels about stuff, so they're really critical about themselves. They're really critical about all the world. I'm just connecting myself to this energy right now. I feel really critical about what I'm kind of saying, but just for the sake of the video I'll still go through it, so it's really sometimes almost like Venus in Virgo feels a certain sense of they lack a sense almost of self-worth, because they're so critical, because they want everything to be to a purified virgin-like state, right? So I think one of the lessons of Venus in Virgo, and I mean this is Astro for bros, right? So I should be like, yo, if you want to chat up this girl, but I think you really have to understand like kind of what she's about or what she's aiming for. It's almost like she's gonna aim for a certain someone or certain something that is able to purify her in a way that she's not able to do herself. As much as she'll be able to kind of like separate herself from who she is, so that she could beautify a certain structure, or so that she could purify a certain structure, or so that she could really through her relationships kind of get a certain something or place or vibration to a state of perfection, and with that kind of comes the curse that love is already supposed to be perfect by itself. If you're trying to use love with a vibration of cleaning and of purifying, you're always going to feel like the love is lacking something, or perhaps that the relativeness of things isn't perfect, and this is really a Virgo energy. So I mean, as with any placement, I think if you want to really balance the placement, you have to go and look at its opposite sign and at the signs that are of the same modality. So if Virgo truly wants to balance itself, it should look at the energy of Pisces. As much as Virgo is trying to refine the process, and through its relationships trying to create almost a routine that's going to be able to bring the practicality, the earthly side of things, or earthy side of things into a more purified yet still tangible state, they would benefit a lot from the energy of Pisces, of actually being able to let go of what it is they see with their mind, and let go of what it is they, this is almost the Neptune in me talking, like let go of what it is you see, but really trying to feel more than actually analyze and criticize all the time, because if they're able to really feel the love instead of trying to see how it really doesn't work, or trying to see how it isn't as best as it could, they'll see that really there is a certain perfection that can only be felt and cannot really be analyzed, or cannot really be put into words as much as the mercurial energy of Virgo would try to do. Now, and the next sign after Virgo is actually Libra, where Venus is the natural ruler of Libra. So it's almost like Virgo is this process, if we're looking at the zodiac as a whole, as the unfoldment of different parts of the psyche, it's almost like Virgo is this process of refinement before the scales, the perfect balance of Libra. So what she's going to be able to give to someone is really this final process of balancing. It's almost like a self-sacrificial placement, because she herself won't feel balanced in love, but she'll feel like her task is to bring a certain balance. So it could be a hard placement for someone. It could make them feel not as maybe not as wanted, but not, you know, like the relativeness of things isn't up to its perfect objective state right there, because they're stuck kind of like in the present and in the past, if you want. Yeah, mostly they could be stuck in the past because of the earth element, which accumulates energy and which is really a representation of what was. You know, earth, a stone can crumble, just as their sense of love can kind of crumble, but they're always gonna try to sculpt it better, sculpt it better, sculpt it better. But I think they have to be careful, because the more you sculpt something, the less matter you got. So at one point it's just gonna all crumble, and you don't want the Virgo energy to really feel all crumbled and destroyed. You know, you want to be able to respect and appreciate the perfection of the stone, even if it's not polished, because such is the way it is, you know. So what do you need to know about a lady with Venus in Virgo? Well, really everything that she's gonna relate to stuff in a practical and almost intellectual, but tangible and practical way of the intellect, you know. So the way you use words, what kind of like mental structures you build for her, how you're able to relate to stuff in a practical and intellectual way, you know. So as much as like she could be a little bit like Venus in Gemini, she's gonna appreciate if you're able to you know, she might like poetry, but maybe not in an airy way, you know. Maybe more so she might enjoy more like someone who's able to purify her own thoughts, someone who's able to show her the flaws in who she is without criticizing her, someone who just by relating to that person she can kind of get a sense of purity, so that she could see the own purity in herself, and at the same time she might like to purify someone. So if you got something that like she doesn't have, in a sense of like, if you're more balanced in a certain way and she cannot get like that, she will enjoy relating to you because you are balanced in that way, and in her own way she will be able to bring a certain balance, a tangible balance to who you are. You know, she might actually care for you. She might be someone who's able to almost like a healing, holistic type of relationship, you know, where she kind of serves you, but you're serving her, and you're not necessarily merging, but you're both getting to be partners in this process of spiritual purification, emotional purification, and appreciativeness purification. You know, it's really all about that purification, but you got to be careful, because she will feel the words that you use as having a certain weight. So don't say stuff that you feel isn't up to balance, you know, or don't say stuff that you feel is gonna put a burden onto her, a burden that she doesn't have to carry, because she's already carrying a lot of stuff, because she's adding a lot of density to ideas because of the earth element and the mercurial nature. So really, if you can almost remove a certain charge that she's holding and help her purify it, so she's not alone with the burden of being the virgin, of wanting to be this virgin state, or wanting to be this purified being. If you yourself are on this way, you can probably lighten her load in that way. And I mean, my own Mars is in Leo and my Venus in Aquarius, so I'm not really all that compatible with this energy, but I mean, it's really a powerful energy because it can help one get to a state of spiritual lightness. It is the craftsmanship of love, kind of, you know. It's not so much fall, as much as Venus could be falling in Virgo, it's not as much falling in love. It's being able to build in love, or to refine the love that is present or that is seen. And it's a mutable sign, so she will probably adapt to a certain structure, you know. I like to say that Taurus is the laying of the foundation, or the making sure that the foundation is steady, since it's a fixed sign, and Capricorn is the bringing forth of the whole of the structure, you know. They're kind of like the master architect in the physical realm. Well, Virgo is more like refining the whole and refining the foundation in a way that Taurus maybe doesn't see, or isn't really able to bring to such a deepness, maybe not deepness, but, you know, to such a refined state, and being able to really refine the whole of the structure that Capricorn is seeing, but is not being enough mutable and adaptable. Now, I usually get a tell of a gift to give a lady with that. I don't know, just give her your sincere words. Give her show her your thoughts in a tangible way, and don't try to bullshit her, because since she's always creating a picture of the whole through how she relates to everything, she's gonna know if a piece doesn't fit, and she's just gonna flush you. You know, I think Virgo energy in general really likes someone who's upfront, and someone who's intelligent, and someone who values like her own intelligence, and is gonna be someone who values her own relational intelligence, because she might be really hard on herself, and if you don't notice it, she's gonna be like, why the fuck am I being hard on myself? If this person doesn't even recognize that, why would I try to purify them if they don't even see that I am in the process of purifying something? So that's what I had to say about Venus in Virgo. So have a good one.